the question is it wise to start dating an unbeliever in hope that they'll one day turn to Christ in faith? Very good question. And a dilemma for many, many people that love Jesus, who are churchgoers, whose faith means everything to them. And you wouldn't have asked this if that wasn't the case with yourself. You want to do the right thing. I can just turn you to a passage in Corinthians. Corinthians was a mess. And they were also in crisis when Paul wrote a letter to them. The crisis was rather big. People were being thrown to the lions in the stadium if they believed in Jesus. Children, women, men, in front of the audience of a full stadium. Now, when you're faced then with professing that you're a Christian, you have to really believe there's a heaven to go to, a Christ to take you there, and to enable you to suffer in such a way. So it's difficult to bring this question into America and my life and my situation. But we at the moment are free and we're not being thrown to the lions. And Paul addresses this. In times of crisis, he says in Corinthians, and this was a time in crisis when persecution had begun. It's not wise to start dating an unbeliever in hope that they'll one day turn to Christ in faith. In fact, he says it's better at this point, in a dangerous situation, to stay single, because the single person doesn't have to watch his children and wife thrown to the lions. That's the background of this whole thing. And then Paul goes on to say that the single person has an advantage because they're free to serve and attend upon the Lord without distraction. Does it mean that you've got to wait for a crisis to stay single until God moves and makes it possible that you can marry somebody? No, that's another question. But what it does state, and I would underline, is that if you love Jesus and you've come to Christ, why would you want to share your life with somebody that didn't? And so to start dating somebody that doesn't and hope that will happen, sort of a little bit of a dangerous thing. And I think that's why he said it's wise in crisis, and I could argue actually that the world is in crisis at the moment, including America and Britain and every other country. Just be sure that the person you're going to give your whole heart and life, have children with, loves Jesus. Why wouldn't you? And don't bank on hoping it'll happen, in other words. Don't bank on hoping it'll happen. And just go on loving the Lord, full life, giving it all you've got. And hopefully, don't find fish in a swimming pool. Go where the fish are. Church. Yeah. And ask God for a believer before you start a deeper relationship than friendship. You'll be okay.